go ahead and switching gears here. The NHL Awards were last night?
Two nights ago.
And I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. We haven't really talked NHL on this channel all that much, but we're going to go ahead and jump into it. We got Matthew Barzal winning the Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
You guys, what are your thoughts?
So for me, Barzal, he is with the Islanders, I believe.
Yes.
The Islanders this season, they were 35-37, 10 overtime losses.
Yep.
That's not very good. We got some other big news about the Islanders coming up in just a minute, though. But Barzal this season, he was, well, let me start with where he got drafted. 2015, he was the 16th pick overall in the first round. He played 82 games this year, tallied 22 goals with 63 assists, 85 points. He was a +1 on his player rating, served 30 minutes in the box. So, I mean, that's 82 games. That's not too bad.
But for a rookie, does that concern you?
For a rookie, not really, because you got to think that it's the NHL. These guys are hot hits,
Yep.
and they're coming in. They're
Especially
ready
as a rookie.
They're ready.
Calm down.
They're ready to knock heads. 5 power play goals along with 4 game winners. Just for the fact that he played for the Islanders, that's a pretty decent Rookie of the Year stat line right there. There's some other major ones that I missed, but
Well, and he's no Sidney Crosby. He put up 85 points. That's great. No
Right.
Sidney Crosby. He tied for 13th in the league as a rookie. That's very impressive.
Yep.
Had 85 points. That is 20 more points than the next closest rookie.
Right.
So I think
Well,
without
everybody.
a doubt, he definitely earned that trophy.
Absolutely. Do you think he could potentially be a Sidney Crosby in the future?
I
am
don't ever
stretching
see
too
him
far?
reaching that potential. I think he'll be good. I don't see a Sidney Crosby or Connor McDavid in his future, but I think he'll be good for years to come.
Anze Kopitar, let's talk about him real quick. Go ahead, Gav.
I just wanted to say, Kopitar, the most outstanding defensive forward. Your guys' thoughts on him winning the award a couple days ago?
Anze Kopitar, real quick, 2004, he's been around. He's been in the league a long time.
Round the block a time or two.
Absolutely. I remember Kopitar watching him as a kid. But he was with the Kings. Kings had a pretty good season. They ended up going to the playoffs, and then they got 4-piece by the Knights. That was kind of interesting.
Everybody got 4-piece by the Knights, so.
Jonathan Quick, though, that's saying something, that he was not able to stop that Golden Knights offense. But Kopitar, 2004 draft, first round, 11th pick, played 82 games this year. His numbers are kind of iffy to me for this season. It wasn't his typical season. He only had 35 goals, 57 assists. He did have 92 points, so I mean that is something that he could do. But I could see him having over 100 easily up there. But his player rating was a +21. He had 20 penalty minutes, 7 power play goals, and 6 game winners on the season. I really like Anze Kopitar. He's real humble. He's been in the league forever. He's just one of those guys that's earned my respect. What about you?
I saw some that said he won like 70% of his face-offs, something like that.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's insane. That for me, that best defensive forward, he is playing the ultimate defense there.
Not only is he playing good defense, but he's winning faceoffs.
Right.
So, I mean, he's a utility guy.
Yeah, he does everything you ask and more.
Yep.
This next one, this should come as no surprise to anybody that even if you don't watch NHL, you knew about the Golden Knights and how well they did this season, coming out as a franchise organization, making it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Their coach, Gerard Gallant. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Gallant.
you're good. These names are hard to
pronounce. The French is getting me. But he won Coach of the Year. That should come as no surprise to anybody, but go ahead and touch on that for a second.
The Golden Knights are absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
This guy pulled together a bunch of misfits that the teams didn't want, didn't feel like they needed to protect because they didn't think anyone else wanted them, and he pulled together this team and turned them into something special.
Yeah.
Never does an expansion team like that go to the Stanley Cup Finals and actually put up a fight.
First time that an expansion team has done that was 1968-69 season. St. Louis Blues did it, but nobody's done it since.
Right, and that should speak to in itself because that was so long ago with less talent in the league, and
50 years.
Now that they've done it with all this talent that they've accumulated over those 50 years, and the fact that they were able to do it and win games against the Capitals. I mean, that should speak in and of itself.
Not only did they win games, they won 51 games this year. They were 51-24 with 109 points total as a team. They were first in the Pacific Division.
and they swept the first 2 teams in the playoffs.
With ease.
I think they let up 1 game in the 3rd round, and then they finally lost in the championship.
Ovi was just too much for him to handle.
Yeah, that's an insane season for
Marc-Andre Fleury for them was amazing.
Phenomenal.
I mean, getting him, later in the year, what did he play, like 32, 33 games?
32 games, something like that.
Just amazing.
9.27 save percentage.
That's unreal. Marc-Andre Fleury still being Marc-Andre Fleury.
Dude.
We remember when we were kids. What's next, Gav?
How about Derek England winning the Mark Messier Award?
Yeah, so Derek England to me, he had a pretty average season. He played 79 games, 5 goals, 18 assists, 23 points, plus 6 on his player rating, 24 penalty minutes. But it's what he did in Vegas that really pushed me to really like this guy. With all the events that transpired on October 1st, that big tragedy in Vegas.
Yeah.
He helped a lot. He donated a lot of money, started a lot of fundraisers. But not only with that tragedy on October 1st, but he has also donated something I saw on ESPN.com. He just donated like over $2 million to local hockey clubs, youth hockey clubs in Las Vegas, and not only just Vegas, around the country, trying to get hockey or trying to take off like the basketball or baseball or football or anything like that. Which I do want to touch on something real quick, saying that hockey is now the number 1 sport in Illinois that's growing within the youth. So big news in the hocky world in Illinois.
Too bad I'm not 10 years younger.
Yeah, me either. I've been skating my entire life. But, Derek England really deserved that. He's a good guy, good, humble dude. There's not a lot of guys that like Derek England, just big hearts. Cares more about the city than he does the team, really, which is kind of bad. But at the same time, he helped them win or get to the Stanley Cup as an expansion team.
Now, where was he coming from? To an expansion team. Who did he get dropped from?
Remember. He got drafted in the 2000. He got drafted in 2000. He was in the 6th round too, the 27th pick of the 6th round. So he wasn't that phenomenal of a player, and he didn't put up that many numbers. But that doesn't really matter with all the stuff that he does in the community. To me, but yeah, Derek England was just a good guy. I have to look that up, see where he came from first. I can't remember off the top of my head because they did acquire him in the expansion draft, I believe.
He's played for the Penguins and the Flames before.
Okay. So yeah, I do remember him a little bit with that stint in Pittsburgh. He played with Phil Kessel for a little while. Calgary, I don't remember. That may have been where he got drafted to. I'm not real for sure on that 100%. What we got next, Gav?
The winner of the Vezina Trophy, goaltender of the year,
Pekka Rinne, 2004 draft, 8th round, 31st pick. I feel like Pekka Rinne didn't really deserve this.
Agreed.
Pekka Rinne didn't really impress me all that much.
Now, I might be biased because he's a Predators
and
goaltender.
I hate the Predators, but
agreed. But I don't feel like he earned it.
I feel like there was way better goaltending potential than Pekka Rinne. 59 games, he was 42-13, 4 overtime losses. He had over 1,800 saves, which isn't bad.
No.
With that being said, he had a .927 save percentage. There was like Braden Holtby.
Not awful, but it's not good.
Braden Holtby had a save percentage of almost like .950 or something like that. 134 goals allowed. His goal average per game was 2.31. That's pretty high for a goaltender of the year.
He was tied for shutouts, though, tied for most shutouts this season.
And
he was 3rd in wins, so that helped him out a little bit. But I still don't feel like he deserved the top. I think Quick had the most saves all season for goalies that had played more than 25 games. I feel like there was a lot more people that could have been included in this conversation that really weren't.
Holtby being one.
Holtby for sure. You got
Fleury.
Fleury got snubbed, in my opinion.
The guy from Winnipeg too, Connor Hellebuck. He didn't get that much.
He got third.
He had a great season, taking the Jets to the conference finals.
It put the team on his back.
Absolutely.
Dearborn, Michigan, which is right around the corner. But yeah, Connor Hellebuck was just an all-around good player. Gav, what we got next?
We have another award to get to, but real quick, I want to touch on the NHL cover athlete because we're talking about the Predators.
Okay.
PK Subban.
PK Subban.
Yeah.
He's just a real humble guy. I'm glad he got the cover athlete of the year. Basically, he he's put together some great seasons. He's a proven goal scorer. Real humble dude. He said that he wouldn't vote for himself for MVP of the league. Shout out LeBron. PK Subban's been around forever.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Real humble. I love watching him when the national anthems are playing because he's out there just jazzing himself up, man. He is so pumped, so ready to go. He brings it all out to the ice. Every play, every play. Well, he's Canadian. Every play, every possession, he's out there giving it his all. So PK Subban winning this award, to me, is a very good pick. What we got next?
Oh, the other award, Taylor Hall, first Devil to win the Hart Trophy.
Yeah, Taylor Hall winning that Hart Trophy. The Devils are just bad. They were 44-29 this year. In the Eastern Conference, the Metropolitan Division.
Now, they did make it to the playoffs. First time in a while.
But they had no business being there.
Yeah.
That's just 100% biased opinion as well. But Taylor
Their
Hall,
first round series, did they play the Lightning?
No, who did they play in the first round? I think they played.
Lightning sounds right.
Yeah, they did play.
They did play Lightning.
They played the Lightning.
They got swept.
Yeah, because I remember watching that game because my buddy is a Tampa Bay fan, and I watched a couple games in that series, and they were terrible.
Yeah, they played the Lightning and got swept. But Taylor Hall, 2010 draft, first overall, first pick. 76 games this season, 39 goals, 59 assists, 93 points. That's on Zay Kopitar stats there. Plus 14 on his player rating, 34 penalty minutes, 37 power play goals, and he scored 7 game winners.
Now, I think he earned this trophy, the most valuable player to his team. He had 41 more points than his closest teammate.
Yep.
Absolutely, if you take him off this team, they win 4 games. Absolutely insane. 41 more points than anybody else on his team. He was 6th in scoring in the league. An impressive season from him. He's finally at that status that the number 1 pick should be at. He had a great season.
Yeah, for sure. The Devils they're kind of in a rebuild right now, though. They're in that stage where they don't know if they want to totally flip the rebuild switch or if they want to leave that off or just kind of pick up guys at the deadlines or whatever they need to do. They just can't really figure out what they want to do. I can see them being a good team. They got Taylor Hall. They got a couple other good guys. I can't remember the name of their goaltender. They're just solid.
I like to compare them to the Detroit Pistons in the NBA.
Right.
Like, they always hang around in the Eastern Conference around that 9-10 seed. They got Andre Drummond, they got Blake Griffin, but then they got young pieces and they don't know what they want to do with them.
Yes.
So,
That's
I
exactly
completely
where
see where
at.
you're coming from.
They're not really rebuilding, but it sure looks like they are.
You just can't figure out what they're trying to do.
It's kind of like the Chicago Bulls in past years. Like, they weren't
Yeah.
sure what they were doing, but
Absolutely.
they needed to.
Absolutely. Speaking of rebuilds, the Hawks, man, what are they doing? They can't. They're another team that they can't figure out if they're rebuilding or not.
Yep.
Especially with Joel Quenneville signing
We
that.
might have a couple rough seasons.
Joel
coming up.
Quenneville signed that extension in 16, I believe, for $6.25 million.
Yes.
So that's going to end up being over the 2018-19 season.
Yep. After this year.
So if we lose Quenneville, what does that mean about Caves and Kaner? What's going to happen with those guys? I don't know. That's a big looming question right there.
I think they stay. I think they're Blackhawks for life.
I
don't think they're going to like it because I think it's going to be a rough couple seasons until they can finally get back to that point. But I think they'll stay in Chicago.
For sure. I hope they do. Basically because without them guys, that's the heart of the team. They're the heart of the Chicago Blackhawks. So.
The last award from Wednesday night was the Ted Lindsay Award given to Connor McDavid of the Oilers.
Best award recipient
Dude's a stud.
of this NHL Awards. Connor McDavid is just a unit. He is mean. He can get out there. He can score. He went the 2015 draft, first round, first pick.
2 seasons under his belt. I think he's had at least 100 points in both seasons, or he was damn close in his first season. He got 108 this season.
108 this year.
Yeah. Dude, he's nuts. 41 goals, 67 assists. Hey, he's great. The guys that finished second and third, Taylor Hall from the Devils and McKinnon, I can't remember. They had 93 and 97 points, so he was 10, 15 ahead of those guys. He played absolutely great this year, just like the 2 years he's been in the league.
Is there anyone else that you guys would have rather given this award to, or did you thought he was absolutely deserving?
Yeah.
I think he was deserving.
Coming
from an awful team. I can't remember what the Oilers went, but it wasn't good. And
Oh,
he
yeah,
still
they were-
put up over 100 points.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Connor McDavid is the piece that the Oilers needed. Now that they got their piece, they can build around Connor McDavid.
Exactly.
They have to. They can't get rid of him. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league right now. If not is. He's young. We're talking about comparing people to Sidney Crosby.
That's your
comparison right there.
That
I
is the
completely
next
forgot
Sidney
about
Crosby.
McDavid.
Sid ain't the kid no more. He's not that he's old, but he's definitely not the kid anymore. Connor McDavid is the new kid. He is the Sidney Crosby mini-me.
Yes.
We had talked, or you had mentioned this on Monday. The Capitals head coach, Berry Trotz, resigned and became a free agent as a coach.
Yep.
And it was rumored that he would sign with the Islanders, and that just happened yesterday.
Yes.
What are your guys' thoughts on this? This really baffles me. You win the Cup with a team that had never won it before, with a guy that was, I don't think, any more deserving than anyone else in the league to go ahead and win a Cup and the MVP of the finals. Just really kind of put this into context of what this means for not only the Capitals and Berry Trotz, but the Islanders and moving forward.
So I want to touch on one thing first before we get started. This is the first time that a coach, or since 2002, that a coach has not returned to their team that they won the Cup with. And the guy to do that was Scotty Bowman when he won it in 2002 with Detroit. But Berry Trotz, since he won the Cup, he had a contract or a clause in his contract that stated he had a $3,000 bonus for winning that Cup, or $300,000 bonus for winning that Cup. So that pushed his contract up to $2 million. He still had 1 season left on his contract, which has been this year. So they'd have been paying him almost $2 million this season. I don't think that the Capitals could afford it with the cap being salary cap being so low that for him to stay. It sucks. It's terrible because Berry Trotz is a good coach, and he rebuilt that Washington Capitals team.
Took him 6 years to do it, but he had a lot of building to do.
Starting with Ovi, and he got Ovi and he got Nicholas Backstrom right around the same time, and it just took him forever. But those two guys, three guys actually, Berry Trotz, Ovi, and Backstrom, all stuck around through that 6 years of rebuilding. Finally got a goaltender with Holtby, and then they finally got themselves a Cup. But, with him going to New York, he got a big contract. It's almost double for 5 seasons, double what he was making at Washington. So, Berry Trotz likes to go to them rebuild teams.
Gives them
Likes
something
a
to do.
challenge.
Likes
Yeah.
the challenge. With Matt Barzal, sorry. He's one of the pieces that they got in that rebuild. So, I know they got a pretty decent farm system coming up from everything I've read on the Islanders, but that's just my take on it. What do you got?
I think it's a great pickup for New York.
Absolutely.
For New York, this is a complete steal.
Yeah. There's nothing else that could have. He fell in their laps. There's nothing else they could have done better. That is the best thing for them. I think it helps their team tremendously. Too bad for the Capitals. It would have been great for them to keep him, but New York's making out in this situation.
What do you think Washington does moving forward in their head coaching job? Who do they get to fill that position?
I have no clue.
I mean, do you search in-house, or is there a coach on the market that you go ahead and fit in that?
Well, they got 2 big-name coaches on the market right now that are looking. I don't know how well they won out of their contracts, one being Joe Quenneville, 2 being Mike Babcock out of Winnipeg. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. My guess is they're going to have to stay in-house, basically for the fact that they're not going to.
I just don't think there's any other coaches out there right now.
And there's no cap space for them.
Exactly.
So if they want to keep Ovi and Backstrom and Holtby, they're not going to have any cap space for a good coach. They're going to be right back down at the bottom, right where they were last year.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting offseason to see what they hire, if they hire inside or in-house, or whether they try to go for a big-name coach like Coach Q or Babcock. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, speaking of Joe Quenneville, I know you touched on this earlier, but he did sign that 3-year extension in 2016, and it will be up at the end of the 2019 season.
Yeah.
What do the Hawks do in this situation?
Win a cup.
Win a cup?
Win a cup, make him stay. It's the only way he will stay.
Yep.
He's a cup chaser. You can't blame him. He likes cups and he builds teams.
He's a winner.
He wants to win.
Nature. He wants to win.
So
can't blame him for that.
Well, with the
I hate to see him go, but
with the situation that Chicago's in right now, do you think that is even fathomable at this point with their roster and what they have constructed?
Based on last year, no.
You ever seen the movie Miracle?
Yeah.
That's what the Hawks are going to need.
Yeah.
There's rumors that this is a rumor. There's rumors that Crow's leaving. which he wants to
I've
stay.
been trying to do that for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
saying
me
that
too.
needed to happen.
So I wish they would have kept Scott Darling. But anyway, if Crow leaves, then there's no chance. Crow's got, obviously he's got the 3 cups with the Hawks, but they're
I was also saying I wanted Crow to leave when there was good guys on the market like Jonathan Quick. But that's done and passed, so now I don't really know if I want him to leave. But
he's the best for what's
for
on the
what's
market
available.
because Quick's not coming. He's Quick. They missed the opportunity to sign Jonathan Quick. He was a free agent, decided to stick with the LA Kings. Good for him though. He's a franchise goalie.
Mm-hmm.
But they should have picked Quick up.
Yeah.
I don't know though if Crow leaves.
Tight spot
for Joel Quenneville. He ain't going to be around much longer. I don't know though. The Hawks can pay him, so because they got Kaner and Taves both locked for until 2021, I believe. So the end of the 2021 season. So I don't know if Joel Quenneville leaves, it's going to be a brutal couple of years for the Chicago Blackhawks fans.
Absolutely, and if he ends up going, they're going to have to search for someone that wants to stick around and rebuild that team. And it's too bad Berry Trotz isn't on the market next year. So
yeah, absolutely.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what the Hawks are going to do with that moving forward. But those were the award winners.
Before we move on, I just want to backtrack real quick for 1 second. Another thing for why Connor McDavid was absolutely deserving. He won the Calder Trophy last year, most outstanding rookie. He also won the Ted Lindsay Award last year too. So that's 2 years in a row that he's won that Ted Lindsay Award, youngest player ever do so.
Yep.
Went back to back
to win back to back like that. He's also one of 3 Oilers players to ever win it, and one of those other names is Wayne Gretzky.
The GOAT.
So. I just wanted to throw that out there, and we can go ahead and move on. I know we got some baseball to talk about. So
one last thing about that is Connor McDavid is not at the point where we can compare him to Wayne Gretzky.
No,
the only comparison is that he's trying to make is that.
But he's got a good start.
Right.
Good start and that the Oiler connection.
Sidney Crosby, that's a good comparison.